Life has a way of testing us through its most subtle exams, not through grand events, but through the small things we try to control each day. We want everything to go our way, results timing how others respond. Yet the tighter we hold, the more everything slips away. The harder we try to arrange things, the more exhausted we become. The faster we chase, the farther we drift. People often believe that success comes from relentless effort, from doing more, pushing harder, controlling tighter. But there is a paradox only the awakened can see. Sometimes effort is not strength, but bondage. When we are too busy trying to make it happen, we lose the space for the right thing to happen. Like a hand trying to grasp water, the tighter it squeezes, the faster it flows away. The universe does not bow to force. It moves in harmony with the energy of release. Letting go does not mean giving up. Letting go is the act of one who understands deeply that some things only arrive when we stop demanding them. When the mind is full of fear, every plan we make is built from lack. But when we loosen our grip, trust, and act from peace, every door seems to open effortlessly. Life has never asked us to control it, only to flow with it. The truth is, the more you force, the more you suffer. The more you trust, the more you see. Life does not reward the hurried, but the attuned. Every challenge is not an obstacle, but a reminder to release, to let the current do its work. If you're tired of forcing, try letting go. Not letting go of hope, but of fear. Not letting go of goals, but of how things must unfold. The moment you stop controlling is the moment the universe begins to work on your behalf. When you stop fighting life, life stops fighting back. Today, instead of asking, "What more must I do to succeed?" try asking, "What must I release to feel peace again?" Because some doors open only when you stop knocking. Some miracles appear only when you are still enough to notice they were always there. And perhaps the greatest magic of life is not found in holding tighter, but in the art of letting go at the right moment. If there is one profound art that modern humanity has forgotten, it is the art of letting go. We have been taught how to grasp, to control, to acquire, but rarely how to release. Letting go is not weakness. It is the wisdom of one who knows that everything already has its own natural order. When you stop forcing, life begins to realign itself. Today we will explore this paradox that true success does not come from doing more, but from knowing when to stop. Life moves like a river. If you learn to flow with it, it will carry you far. But if you fight it, you will drown in your own current. The universe does not reward impatience. It responds to those who learn to match its rhythm. Everything you desire, peace, love, opportunity, abundance, is not out of reach. It is simply waiting for you to become aligned with it. And that alignment is not born from anxiety or force, but from trust, stillness, and surrender. Today you will see that what you've been chasing has in truth been on its way to you all along. It does not need to be forced, only allowed. When your mindset shifts from "I need to have" to "I am," ready to receive, your energy changes. When you stop asking when and begin to say, "In its time," your frequency transforms. And right there, where fear and resistance dissolve, miracles begin. In this session, we will walk through 5 core principles of the art of letting go, universal laws that reveal how the universe does not respond to desperate effort or pleading, but to the energy you radiate. When you are at peace, you attract peace. When you live in lack, you draw in more lack. When you try to control, you block the flow. But when you release, the universe opens the way. Take the following words as keys, not to escape reality, but to learn how to merge with it. Because once you understand the principle of flow, you'll realize that what you seek has never left you. It's simply been waiting for you to stop chasing and start trusting. In the Buddha's teachings, everything in the universe is energy, and that energy vibrates at a frequency of the mind. Thoughts, emotions, and beliefs all merge to form your inner vibration. Every time you think, feel, or believe something, you're sending a signal out into the universe. The universe doesn't respond to your pleas. It responds to your frequency. When you are in a state of peace, trust, and openness, your energy vibrates with abundance. Then life mirrors that frequency back to you in the form of opportunities, love, and ease. But when you're desperate, anxious, or afraid of loss, your vibration lowers. The universe doesn't recognize your wish. It only registers your energy of lack. And so it reflects back more of what you feel: waiting, worrying, delay. You cannot pray for peace while vibrating with fear. You cannot say, "I trust," while your heart is full of doubt. Every conflicting vibration creates resistance, and that resistance blocks the flow of what you desire. Remember, the universe doesn't understand words. It understands energy. When your mind constantly broadcasts, "I lack," "I fear," "I need," you are commanding life to remain exactly as it is. So begin to observe the energy you live in moment by moment. When you feel light, when you smile, even before things are perfect, that is when you align with the energy of miracles. Letting go of worry is not ignoring reality. It's shifting your frequency from control to trust. When you believe what you desire will come in its own time, your mind brightens, the voice within softens, and your energy becomes clear. From that clarity, you start attracting what matches your vibration. The right people appear, coincidences align, and life begins to connect itself in ways you could never plan. That is not luck, it's resonance. When you stop vibrating with desperation, everything begins to flow. When you stop chasing, the universe starts moving toward you. So instead of begging for something to arrive, align your vibration with it. Don't say, "I need peace," be the one who is peaceful. Don't say, "I want love," vibrate as one who loves. Don't pray, "I want success," live as one who is already complete. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. Human nature craves control. Control over results, over timing, even over how others perceive us. We believe that the tighter we control, the more life will align with our plans. Yet in truth, that control is the rope that strangles the mind's freedom. When you insist on arranging everything your way, you resist the natural current of the universe, and once a river is dammed, it can no longer flow. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Life works the same way. When you obsess over every tiny detail, when to succeed, who must understand you, how everything must unfold perfectly, you lose your ability to experience wonder. The universe doesn't follow your schedule. It moves at the pace of nature, where everything happens when your mind is ready. Control arises from fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of not being enough. But the more you fear, the more resistance you create. The harder you push, the more energy blocks. When you say, "I have to make this happen," you are unconsciously sending the message, "I don't believe it will happen on its own." And that lack of trust stops the flow. The Buddha taught, when you learn to relax, the water finds its way. Letting go of control does not mean inaction. It means acting without attachment to the outcome. You still act, still strive, but from a calm heart, not a fearful one. You act out of love, not out of the fear of loss. You act with clarity, not with obsession that it must succeed. When your actions arise from trust, you create space for the universe to move. That space becomes the soil from which opportunities grow. Try unclenching the fist you've been holding. When you release, blood begins to flow. Energy returns. Likewise, when you release control, life begins to breathe with you. Some things appear only when you are calm enough to stop forcing them. The more you push, the further they drift. The more you trust, the closer they come. Remember, this letting go does not mean losing power. It means giving power back to the natural flow. When you stop trying to steer everything, you invite life to dance with you. Because life doesn't need to be directed. It only needs to be trusted. And sometimes what you've been waiting for all along arrives the very moment you finally let go. In a world where noise has become the collective breath, where everyone competes to speak, to prove, to be seen, stillness seems like a luxury. Yet it is precisely within stillness that true wisdom begins to bloom. The Buddha once said, "When the mind is as calm as a lake, the reflection of the moon becomes clear. Stillness is not emptiness. It is the sacred space where truth reveals itself." When you fall silent on the outside, you begin to hear the voice within, the one long buried beneath thought notifications and the endless pace of modern life. Stillness is the place where every answer you seek already exists, but you cannot hear those answers while your mind is turbulent. Like a lake disturbed by waves, its reflections become distorted. Only when the water is still does the scenery appear clearly. So too with your mind. As long as you are pulled by the thousands of voices of the world, opinions, comparisons, anxieties, demands, you will remain unclear about your true direction. Pause for a moment. Turn off every notification. Take a deep breath. Listen to the space between each inhale and exhale. That is where peace lives. In stillness, you don't need to do anything. You simply need to be present. And in that presence, you begin to see what must be seen, understand what must be understood, and release what must be released. Stillness is not weakness. It is the power of one who has built enough inner strength to no longer need to argue, prove, or shout. The deeper the understanding, the fewer the words. The more peaceful the person, the stronger their presence radiates. In a noisy world, the one who knows how to be still is the one who truly masters life. Let stillness become your companion each morning. Spend a few minutes simply breathing, sitting with yourself. When you do, you cleanse your energetic space and allow the universe's subtle guidance to come closer. For the universe does not shout into your ear, it whispers. And if you are not still enough, you will miss its direction. Do not fear silence. Trust that within it, life is rearranging itself for you. When you stop speaking, you begin to hear. When you stop searching, you begin to see. When you stop running, you begin to touch the natural flow of existence. And perhaps in a world full of noise, stillness is the loudest message you can ever send to the universe. Humans always want everything to happen fast. We live in an age of speed. Everything must be now as soon as possible, or else it's too late. But the universe doesn't follow the clock of man. It moves by the sacred rhythm of nature. Every seed has its season to sprout, every flower its moment to bloom, and no one can force the sun to rise before dawn. Trusting timing means learning to live with that flow without haste, without resistance, without fear, during the quiet in-between. Waiting is not passive. It is an act of faith. Faith that even in silence, life is working beneath the surface to align everything for you. Like a seed beneath the soil, you cannot see its growth, but each day its roots deepen. When you understand this, you stop fidgeting with, "Why not yet? When will it happen? Why hasn't it come?" For every time you grow impatient, you send the universe a signal of restlessness, and that very signal delays what you desire. The Buddha taught, everything arrives when the causes and conditions are ripe. Conditions cannot be forced. They can only be nurtured. Your role is not to pull the fruit to ripen sooner, but to tend the soil, water the roots, and trust the season. When you do your part with a calm heart, the rest unfolds in its own time. The right moment never arrives late. It arrives precisely when you have become ready to receive. The issue is not that the universe is slow, but that we are often more impatient than our own growth. Think of the times life delayed you, the opportunities that slipped away and seemed like loss. Later you understood it wasn't wrong. Timing. It was not yet time. If you had received what you wanted too soon, before you were steady, before you were wise, you might have lost it. But when you are ready, you no longer have to chase. Everything naturally finds you. The art of trusting timing is the art of releasing what you want, to welcome what is meant. It teaches you to stay calm in waiting, to keep faith in stillness, and to be grateful even for delays that seem meaningless. Because if you truly believe the universe is always working in your favor, You will understand that everything arrives exactly on time, not early, not late, but at the very moment you have become the person worthy of receiving it. Everything you experience in life, opportunities, people love, success, is a reflection of the belief you hold about your own worth. The universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you believe you deserve. When you think small, you unconsciously shrink your possibilities. When you believe you are unworthy, you silently block the flow of all that is good. But when you truly recognize your inner value, your energy shifts, and the universe begins to respond with things that match that frequency. This is not arrogance. It is awakened self-respect, the understanding that you are a part of the infinite flow, that happiness, abundance, and love are not rewards reserved for the lucky, but the natural rights of anyone who lives in alignment with truth. The Buddha taught that all suffering arises from the illusion of I am not enough. When you believe you are lacking, you live like a beggar, begging for affection, for opportunity, for approval. But when you know you are enough, you live like a giver, giving energy, giving value, giving love. And that giving energy becomes the magnet for receiving. The universe doesn't respond to your begging, it responds to your belief in worthiness. When you think you don't deserve happiness, you'll reject opportunities, even when they stand before you. When you think you're not good enough, you won't step through doors already open. But when you begin speaking to yourself in the language of faith, I deserve love, I deserve peace, I deserve genuine success, you're recalibrating your energy, reshaping it cell by cell, thought by thought, action by action. Belief is the root of reality. A person who believes they are worthy walks, speaks, and acts differently. They don't beg for approval or fear rejection because they understand that what leaves simply isn't aligned with their frequency. They do not chase value, they embody it. And when you become that person, you no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? If the answer is doubt, replace it with affirmation. If you were once overlooked, stop seeking validation outside. Give yourself the recognition you've always waited for, because the universe will always mirror how you treat yourself. When you believe you're worthy, doors begin to open. And when you live as someone who is already enough, the universe will whisper, yes, you are ready. In an age of hurry where people believe they must run fast to reach success, calmness is often mistaken for slowness. But in the deeper law of the universe, calmness is the pace of the awakened. For when the mind is still, clarity arises. When clarity comes, actions become precise. And when actions are right, results appear effortlessly. Calmness is not laziness or surrender. It is the energy of absolute trust, the faith that, even without forcing, life will unfold in the best possible way. A calm person is not someone with fewer tasks, but someone who doesn't let tasks pull their mind away. They do everything with the centered focus of one who knows where they are and why they act. Calmness does not take away power from action, it gives action depth. Just as still water perfectly reflects the sky, a calm mind perfectly reflects the wisdom of the universe. Observe yourself. When you panic, you make wrong decisions. When you rush, you make mistakes. When you're tense, you block the channels of intuition. But when you are calm, you see what others cannot see. You hear the whisper of timing. You feel the direction of flow. Calmness is not passivity. It is the energy of alignment. You no longer force things to happen. You simply open your heart to allow them to happen. The Buddha taught, when the mind is still like water, the moon reflects naturally. When your mind is quiet, the universe begins to speak to you more clearly. Opportunities appear naturally. What seems like coincidence aligns with divine precision. This is the art of manifesting through stillness. You don't call the universe with words. You call it with a vibration of serenity. Calmness is also proof that you have released control. You are no longer impatient, demanding that everything come right now, because you understand everything is arriving in perfect order. When you are calm, you not only attract good things, you become worthy of sustaining them. For what is created in peace cannot be destroyed by chaos. So pause in the middle of your busy rhythm. Breathe deeply. Inhale slowly. Remind yourself, I am in the right place at the right time, in the right process. Do not see calmness as a destination. Live it as a way. For in every peaceful breath, in every quiet moment, in every mindful action, you are not only manifesting what you desire, you are becoming the highest version of yourself. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is the art of receiving. When you stop trying to control, stop clinging to outcomes, stop demanding that life follow your plan, that is when you create space for what is meant for you to arrive. We often think that the tighter we hold, the more we can keep. But in truth, what belongs to you will remain effortlessly, and what doesn't will slip away like water through your hands. Letting go is the lesson of maturity, learning to trust the flow, the timing, and the innate wisdom of the universe. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold, because the universe knows. You don't need to manage every detail, because the order of nature is already more perfect than any plan the human mind can draw. When you let go, you don't lose direction, you free the energy to act with clarity. Those who have not learned to let go carry the weight of the whole world on their shoulders. Those who have moved lightly like clouds, yet everything in their life progresses often more smoothly than before. Remember, you cannot hold tightly to the past and receive the future. You cannot cling to fear and touch freedom. You cannot obsess over outcomes and walk in peace. Letting go does not mean giving up your goals. It means releasing your attachment to how they must happen. It's the moment you stop arguing with reality, stop asking why, and start smiling at why not. Letting go is the ultimate test of faith. Faith that even when you are not in control, an unseen hand is arranging everything for you. Faith that every delay, detour, and silence carries its own meaning. Faith that when you do your best with a pure heart, the rest will be divinely aligned. And when you truly let go, something miraculous happens. Your energy shifts from forcing to allowing, from fear to trust, from lack to abundance. Opportunities begin to appear. Synchronicities open up. And you realize that everything you once chased has quietly been moving toward you all along. Let letting go become your silent prayer each day. Let go of worry so the heart can rest. Let go of expectations so you can live authentically. Let go of control so faith can grow. For in that release you lose nothing, you simply make room for miracles to enter. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Feel the air passing through your lungs, your chest, dissolving into the quiet. In that moment, you need not do anything, need not think anything, just be. Because peace does not exist in tomorrow. It exists in this breath. Every morning before the world rushes in with its 1,000 demands, take a few minutes for the ritual of release and trust. Place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and whisper, "Today I choose to relax. I trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should." A simple sentence, yet, when repeated with faith, it can shift the energy of your entire day. Practice letting go in the smallest moments. When someone upsets you, instead of reacting, smile. When plans don't go your way, instead of complaining, trust there is meaning behind it. When impatience rises, return to your breath. It is the anchor that keeps your mind from drifting away. Every time you pause to breathe, you hand the steering wheel back to the universe, reminding yourself that you don't need to control everything. Morning is the beginning of energy. Evening is the ritual of release. Before you sleep, thank both what has come and what has not. Silently say within, I release everything and allow life to flow. I don't need to push, I just need to trust. In that very moment, your heart opens and sleep becomes an act of healing. Letting go is not a distant philosophy. It is a way of life. The art of one who understands that not every battle must be won. Sometimes it's enough to move with the current. When you let go, you are no longer the one swimming against the river. You become the one flowing with it, still moving forward, but without struggle. And that serenity itself is the mark of inner strength. If today you feel tired, worried, or afraid, let this be your reminder: you are not alone. The universe has never turned its back on you. You've just been holding too tightly to feel its hand. So release. Inhale faith, exhale fear. Inhale peace, exhale control. With each breath, life becomes a living meditation. When this video ends, don't just nod in agreement, practice. Right now, release one thing you know you've been holding too tightly: a relationship, a worry, an outcome. Let go, not to lose, but to open. Because only when you let go do you become spacious enough to receive. And if today you find even a moment of peace from these words, share it with someone who needs it. For perhaps the calm within you is the seed of awakening in another soul.